Hello there, my Facebook Live friends. It's Candy here from SweetStamper.com, and I think I'm just a couple of minutes past 2. So welcome to Tuesday at 2-ish at Facebook.com/SweetStamper. This is my weekly Facebook Live, and I have a lot of things to share with you today. It's a big day in the Stampin' Up world because Stampin' Up just released some new free products available for celebration, and I just have a lot of show and tell for you today. So I'll give it just a minute while we wait for a few folks to come on live with us, and then we're just going to go with it, and people can catch up with us. And hi Ada K, it's good to see you. People can catch up with us and watch the replay as well. So this is of course Super Tuesday. Lots of people are out at the polls today. I had done my early voting, so I did my civic duty about a week ago. I try as hard as I can to do early voting so that I don't have to kind of fight the crowds on the day of. Hello, Susan. I hope you're feeling better. Things going on in your world. I don't think I've even had I've read your messages, but I don't think I've replied to them yet. But sometimes if messages take me more than 2 seconds to answer, I take a little bit, I wait until I have time to actually answer appropriately, responsibly, and all that good stuff. Hi, Gail. I'm glad you're here today as well. So, like I said, I've got a lot of show and tell for you today, and I just came off my weekend retreat here in San Antonio, so I have been I've been hosting weekend retreats, well, I think for about 6 years now, maybe even a little bit longer. And mostly here in San Antonio. A few times we've gone to like Wimberley, and Jordan Ranch was even farther than that. That was more towards Houston. But I've kind of settled into, and I've also done New Braunfels, so kind of the outlying areas of San Antonio, but I've kind of settled into doing here in San Antonio. And hey Marlene, I'm glad you're here. Some people come from outlying areas. We've even had people come from out of state. We had somebody from out of state this time, and she came down to have the weekend with her sisters. So they had a crafting weekend together, and then a little bit of time. I think she came, well, yeah, I think she stayed a little bit after the retreat. So anyway, all that to say that retreat is a lot of fun, and I'm getting ready to release my retreat in a box. So let me flip the camera down and show you a little of what we did at retreat, and then I'm going to stamp with you today. I've also got my team meeting tonight, so lots of stamping activities. Hey Rosemary, I'm glad you're here. So let me see if I can do this without making anybody seasick or away. Ah, the arm is there. Okay. Tripod arm seems to just want to be there. Okay, so I've got a lot of show and tell for you today. And the first thing I'm going to show you is the projects that we did at retreat. And let me just move my grid paper because I don't need that till I'm ready to stamp, and I don't want to distract your eye from all the loveliness here. So this is one of the make and takes we had at retreat. So what we featured at retreat, hi Kathy, what we featured at retreat was this suite, the Parisian Blossoms suite from the January to June, otherwise known as Spring catalog or Occasions catalog, but it's actually the January to June mini catalog. Let me just grab it and show you. Okay, I meant to have these books over here and I didn't. So in the January to June catalog, mini catalog, handmade for you, there is this awesome, it's a mega suite. So Stampin' Up, when they have a suite of products, what that means is you have stamps, you have dies, you have a punch, you have ribbons and papers and all kinds of things that coordinate. Well, for this one, a mega suite means you have 2 suites that coordinate together. So this one, the Parisian Blossoms, you have the designer paper, which is what we made this bag from. And then you also have 2 different bundles. And then you have an embossing folder and rhinestone jewels. These champagne ones are gorgeous. And then you have this beautiful ribbon. So you have 2 stamp sets with coordinating dies. And so we had a lot of fun using both. So let me show you the make and takes. And I probably should show you a few other things that I may not have with me. So let's see. So this is one of the bags. This is, well, one of the make and takes we did. So we made this big bag, and it's actually really roomy, holds a lot. And you use 2 12 by 12 pieces of designer paper, and we took 1 inch off, and then we just wrapped it around here for a little bit of an accent. We did make a little hang tag, and you could just, I think it's lovely, just an accent. You could put a to from on the back if you felt that was necessary. But this actually holds quite a lot. You could put quite a bit of like Bed Bath & Beyond, not Bed Bath & Beyond, Bath & Body Works products in here. You could actually put a t-shirt or a blouse, a lot of different things in here. So that was one of our make and take projects. We also did this fun little fancy clip. Sorry about the shaking. This fancy clip. These are just fun to put on a journal, you can even use this as a bookmark, to put somewhere where you can easily mark your place, or on a set of papers that you need a little inspiration to deal with. I don't know about you, but I have piles of, in addition to piles in my scrapbook or my crafting room, I also have piles of papers that need to be dealt with for like office stuff. So this might inspire you to deal with that pile of papers if you had a pretty clip on it. This little album, they're supposed to have a little ribbon tie around it, and that got lost. Or anyway, this was on the make and take station. So this is a cute little mini album. Oh, and one of these is gone too. So anyway, this was out all weekend for people to use as an example. But this is just a little mini album, and you can use this as a grandma brag book. You can put photos in here. You can use this for Bible memory if you do scripture memory. You can do this for a little mini prayer journal. You can do a lot of fun things with this. You can use this for various lists. So that was that. And then we made 4 cards, and this one really just features the designer paper. With designer paper this beautiful, I mean, there's just a little bit of stamping. I will tell you that we substituted the regular rhinestones because the champagne ones are on back order, and I needed, a bunch. So we just swapped out. The champagne ones are just a little bit softer in their look because they have that champagne color. This was one of our make and takes here, utilizing the stamp set, and just the stamps and the ribbon and some rhinestones. This one features the paper. This one features the embossing folder, and I paired this. I really love these heart doilies. I think there's a lot you can do with them. And then the paper, and then this one we featured again. This is the embossing folder. This is called, I think it's called Parisian. I think it's gorgeous. And when you run vellum through on that folder, look what it does, how it makes it a little bit white in certain places. And then they also are, retreat attendees got a couple of Stampin' Blends in their goodie bag. And so this was one of the other make and takes. So all that to share. Retreat in a Box is coming. You know what? Let me show you one more thing. I forgot to grab something. Give me 1 second to walk over a few steps. Let's see. Well, find it really quick. Here we go. So we had cute little nameplates for everybody. We always have nameplates so it can mark your spot. And this was the nameplate. Everybody was really happy with this. So this was on a little easel at everybody's place. And this is the die cut. And I cut this out with the black foil sheets. That's one of those things that I think is really underused. You get 2 sheets for $5. They're 12 by 12 inches. And there's just so many fun things you can do with them. So that was Retreat. Make and takes. There's 5 pillow gifts as well and other fun things. So I will let you know. Retreat in a Box, I'll probably roll that out tomorrow. And that just means that you get the goodies from Retreat, PDF tutorials for all of this, all the gifts, all the swag, and everything delivered to your door. So that is great for people who can't come to Retreat. Now, let me show you one more thing, and then I'm going to stamp with you. Personally, I always look for something that's not being used much. I think there's hidden gems in every catalog. And in this January to June mini catalog, everybody's going hog wild over the bundles and everything. And I'm a stamps girl. I adore stamps. And so this is just a stamp set. And I think that one of the things that maybe people aren't going wild about it is because they look at that French countryside and they think about France, and maybe that's not their thing. But to me, these images could be anywhere. This could be in Texas. This could be in Michigan. This could be in Kentucky. I just see things here that you could have anywhere. So let me show you what I've done with this. And I'm going to be releasing a class by mail, I think, is what I'm going to do with this. So what I did was, I first of all did a set of note cards that use just the stamps. The stamps. This is my free item. Let me back up. Everything here you can get for $50. So you get a set of these note cards, and I think there's 20 in the pack. You get all 4 colors. And then your $50 order includes this stamp set. Your $50 order includes a black tuxedo stamp pad, and it also includes the watercolor pencils. And that's what you color in all of your images with. So all of that is just a $50 order. I think it might come out to $51. And then you get the stamp set for free. And I don't think I have it ready at hand because I'm using it for my meeting tonight. But this stamp set, this is an all words stamp set, is available free during celebrations. So for $50, you can make all of these cards, and actually you can make 20 of them with no problem at all. So that was my idea for just a brand new stamper or somebody who's just on a really tight budget. There is a little bit of Whisper White cardstock, but that's it. So these are just super sweet little note cards. This one, I didn't put anything on the outside because I thought, well, that could just, you're like sending them a little piece of art. This one I did put a little thank you on. I know I'm shaking your camera again. And then this little image here with the old-fashioned, water pump. So then, if you wanted to take these cards and dress them up just a wee bit, what I did was I paired them with the Bird Ballad Designer Series paper. Now, I also paired them with these, the twine and the sequins that are no longer available, but that's okay. You could easily swap another twine out, other sequins. So here's my same stamp set that's a free stamp set. This one, I did dress this up a little bit by using blender pens when I colored these images in. And that just gives you a little bit more ability to take them and run with them with your colors and your watercolor pencils. These are 2 separate stamps. Aren't they adorable? I love these images. I think they're gorgeous. This house I did very differently here. I did it in gray here, almost like a manor house or a big country house. And what's this I hear? And then I put inside there a happy birthday. And this just has a little bit of twine. So like I said, you could substitute your twine out with any other twine. And then this was my 4th one. And there I am with that same water pump again. I just love it. If loving thoughts could heal, you'd be better already. So this is using just the 1 set of watercolor pencils, the 1 stamp pad, and then the 1 set of Designer Series paper. Now, I wanted to take the same stamp set and see what we could do if we didn't want to color in the images. That's the other thing. I think sometimes people look at things like this and go, well, you know what? I'm not really too keen on coloring everything in. So how could I use this stamp set without doing a lot of coloring? So here are 4 cards, and they're all just, this is very vanilla, simple cardstock bases. And so I paired these with the Pressed Petals Designer Series paper. And so I had not used on my other cards, I hadn't used that little sheep image, and I think he is just adorable. So I did use a greeting stamp set that's different. So I've got, and I used the champagne rhinestones here. And then here is the house. And again, this is the Pressed Petals Designer Series paper. And really monochromatic stamping. I stamped and I sponged with Mossy Meadow. And then just used a little bit of, on all of these, I used a little bit of the linen thread. So here is my second one, and I think the saying here is, it's all messy, the hair, the house, the heart, life. I think that that is a great greeting to send somebody who's going through a little bit of a rough time. Or just needs to smile, because I think that actually could be a great card to just bring a smile. And then here's that water pump again with the little bird. And these are two separate stamps. And then thank you for being my friend. And then last but not least, there is the flower cart and a little thank you card. So these come together really, really quickly. So stay tuned. I will end up releasing that as some kind of a class. I'm still kind of wondering how I'm going to do that. So that is to come. But I wanted to, hey Bobby, I wanted to just kind of share with you. I think this is one of those hidden gems in the January to June catalog. So those are my projects from that. And now I'm going to show you what we're going to stamp today. Lots of show and tell we've had. Now it's time to clear the decks and do a little bit of stamping. So here's my grid paper. And I'm actually going to show you, first of all, this is a fun bundle that is in our January to June catalog. I'm actually going to just use the punch this time. These are super cute greetings, but I actually wanted to go with something a little bit larger, so I went with this. And this is actually what we're doing at my team meeting tonight. So we are showcasing and stamping with the Pleased as Punch Designer Series paper, which I should have in front of me, and I don't. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. Let me show you the paper so that you get the full view. So this one, you can see, pairs with this. This is called Pleased as Punch because all of these papers coordinate with a punch. Now the back side has raindrops and the front side has the umbrellas. And then you get 3 sheets of 4 different designs, but they have a front and a back. So I don't know how many total designs that is. This heart sheet, it actually coordinates with our heart punch, the heart bundle of punches. I don't know what it's called. Anyway, it's 2 different hearts. And so aren't these fun colors? And then there is the back side, is this pink kind of, what do you call this, buffalo check. I don't think it's a true gingham. I think it's a buffalo check. And then this one that coordinates with the little blossom punch that's free with celebration with a $100 order. So this one is super cute. And then these rainbow, aren't those gorgeous stripes? And then last but not least, this tulip design coordinates with the tulip punch that will punch out both the leaves and the tulips. And then the back side is one of the ones I've used the most. And it's this green stripe, really subtle stripe. And then it's got almost like a worn look to it. So that is the paper. I'm pairing it, this card, all the cards I'm doing tonight, we are pairing with the So Sentimental stamp set. I think we're using it for all of them. And then on this card, we're going to use the punch. So let me show you. We're going to do a fancy fold. So here we have this cute little fold. And one of the things I wanted to point out to you is that when you go into the page, see, I think I have a scrap here. When you go into your page, you're going to have some little parts of umbrellas. And I think it's super fun to use even the parts. And so whether it's the umbrellas or the tulips or the little flowers, I like to use the little parts. And the way I like to use them is to put them on the inside so it looks like just that little part is coming over. Now you can see on the punch that you have a little, you have a handle, and then you have two different styles of umbrella. So here is the narrow style, and then you can see here, or I guess it's really not, it's not a style, it's just the umbrella is not fully open. And then here is another sample where I've used the open umbrella, and I didn't put a piece of umbrella inside. So this is a fancy fold card, super simple, and I know that anybody you sent this to would really, really smile and know that you are sending them get well wishes with this. And so let me show you how we are going to do this. I will show you that this is a set of dies that coordinates with So Sentimental. So this is actually another bundle you can get. You can get just the stamps, just the dies. If you put them together, you save 10%. So I used this bundle with this paper. And let me just show you here. I will have the PDF tutorial up on my sweetstamper.com blog, either tonight or tomorrow. And this is, you can see that all I've done here is I've taken a little piece off of a regular size card. Now I am going to go ahead and stick the inside down first. Let me grab my tools here. See what else I might need. So I do like to put the inside down first, and one of the reasons I do that is because sometimes I just forget that I'm supposed to be putting something down, and I have a snail that looks like it is broken. Okay, well, let's see. Do I have another one handy? Maybe not. Maybe I'll just use this. Okay, so this is the Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue. Let me show you one of my favorite things, and that is, this is the end that seemingly nobody uses. But if you want to smoosh your adhesive around, this works really, really well. And I will also tell you that when you get to the end of your multi-purpose liquid glue, I think it's easier to get it out of this end than this end. So yeah, Darlene loves this particular adhesive. I do too. I will tell you that some people have a love-hate relationship with it because when it gets on your hands, it does not come off with water. This is not water soluble. So it can just have a little bit of a challenge getting it off. You just have to use Goo Gone and it comes off fine. If you can also use hand sanitizer. And your other option is to use cooking oil or olive oil. That works fantastic. This, I'm going to put just the tiniest little bit of adhesive right there. One of the reasons people sometimes have a love-hate relationship with this too is a little goes a long way, and sometimes you can end up splodging it in a way that you didn't intend to and get a little bit more than you bargained for. So, and of course, can I find my pick a tool? No, it's nowhere to be found. Let's see if I can just lift this a tiny bit. Yeah, there we go. So that is going to go right like that. So now I have my inside. I am ready. Oh, and I put that down. I wasn't supposed to. Okay. Well, let's see what we can do. Here is my little arm, and this is supposed to go inside that white panel. So you can tell this is bigger than this. So it does use a little extra piece of cardstock, but my guess is that you probably have some cardstock in a little pile of, in a little pile of scraps somewhere, and this is going to lift. Okay, don't do that. Don't do as I showed you. Don't put the inside down first when you're doing a fancy fold card. So that is that lesson. Okay, let's try again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the center of the inside of my card. And I've got a little score line here. And I'm going to go like that. See, I should have had my snail ready. Well, it was ready, but for some reason it's going to need a little doctoring. So I'm just putting that down first, and I want it to be flush with the end of my card. So that's my little arm that's going to be used. And then I'm going to put this down right over the little flap so that it hides it and also gives me something really pretty to write on. Not that this Highland Heather cardstock is not pretty. It's lovely, but it will be even lovelier when I have it as a frame and I have that whisper white on the inside. And it just makes writing your message a little bit easier. Hello there, Crystal. Hi, Athena. I'm glad y'all are here. So that is how we make our little fancy fold. I am going to place just a little bit of the kind of rainbow designer series paper here. And like I said, don't worry about measurements. They will be on my sweetstamper.com blog. If you have not yet gone over there and subscribed, I would encourage you to do that, because then every time I put a new post on there, and I don't post every day, but every time I put a new post on there, it will show up in your inbox as an email. So if you're wondering how to make sure that you've got that all square, it's easy to just put some white behind it. You know, when you put it like this, the Highland Heather cardstock against the Highland Heather cardstock, it's hard to see. So if you just pull your arm out like that, then it's readily available to be seen. And then this is just a slight, not totally a square, it's a little bit longer than it is wide, because I didn't want it to encroach too much over here. So this is that fun paper. Now you see, if you wanted to go that way, you could. You see how really versatile this paper is, because the colors just all go together. But I wanted to do it like so. Now, and you do always want to make sure when you're using directional paper that this is the top and this is the bottom. I don't want my umbrellas flying upside down. So there we go. Now the only other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the center, and this is the center of my arm. This is my little tag, and it's from the So Sentimental. I'm actually going to use Gorgeous Grape ink. This is the dark counterpart to Highland Heather. I could use Highland Heather, but it comes out a little bit soft, and I wanted my greeting that says sending healing hugs. I wanted this to be really, really bold. So let me get this right on here and center it, or thereabouts. See? And that is ready to go. And I'm actually just going to adhere this flat, because I'm going to pop up my umbrella on a dimensional. So this, and I will say, you know, when you use this multi-purpose liquid glue, it really, really sticks. So once it's down, you know, like I said, if you saw me doing this, yeah, you try to pull that up, and this had been down less than 2 minutes. Yeah, I couldn't even get it to pull up. Now with a Pick-a tool, I might have been able to do it, but you know, that is not readily available. So let me see where I can find my little umbrella. I've actually got one already punched out. So I'm going to use this little guy right here. Actually, you know, this is the thing with the umbrellas, is you get to you can kind of pick and choose which ones look the best with your, and I don't have one readily available that's going to look better with that. So let me just show you how this works. So here's I'm going to use the fully open umbrella, and you see how you just pull that right in there. And you want to line up, there's a little tiny tip at the top that shows you the top of the umbrella. And then you want to go right around your little scallops at the bottom. And then when you get it just where you want it, then you just punch. So I think this one is going to actually look a little bit better here. I need a little bit of contrast. This is blending in too much with my paper there, in my opinion. Not a biggie. So now I think I'm going to do it like this and have it kind of right over that sending hugs. I think that'll be cute. And all I'm going to do is put 2 Stampin' Dimensionals on the back. And that is going to allow me to get it. How did I have that? I think it was over like so. And then I need a little, what do you call it? I need a little handle. So I'm going to just touch that. Probably touch the top and the bottom because I don't want it to fly off the paper. And I am going to just tuck that right under like so. Now, that can be a little bit of a challenge when you have that. This is what I'm talking about with the love-hate relationship with the Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue. Now you see, I just used the end of that dimensional thing, and that lifted it for me. So they're super cute. I will show you this. Like I said, this is one of the cards that we're making as a make and take at my team meeting tonight. One other thing I'm going to do is I am going to put one of these little partial umbrellas on the inside. And you see when you do the partials, some of them have this end, so I could put one over here. Or I think I'm going to put that one there, that little partially open. I'm going to put that one in there to decorate my inside and just give that, I think this is crushed curry, kind of give a little bit of something different there. And I do want it to come under here because I don't want it to be peeking out the top of my flap. And then I need another handle. So, you know, when you have these builder punches, the best way, and there's a piece of paper stuck in there, to use just the parts is to use thin strips of cardstock, and then you can just feed it right in there and pop it. So that is going to give me my little handle. Now, you could go in here and punch this handle out, but I don't know. I think this is a little bit simpler to use the cardstock. And how many of us have little strips of cardstock? We have more than a few little pieces like that, and I do like to put them to good use from time to time. So I'm going to just tuck that under there. And that is my happy mail card to somebody who's not feeling great. So super simple. It is a fancy fold card. Let me show you a couple of things you can do if you wanted to add just one other little element. I have some white twine here, and I'm going to tie just a little double bow. And this is, you know, you could churn these out pretty quickly. Doesn't take long. I love the cheery colors, the bright cheery colors. Even though all of these colors are actually in our Subtles family, I think Subtles collection, they kind of have a vibrancy and a not a boldness to them. Just I think it's a freshness is more than anything. So here's my little double bow, and I think that this is probably going to just add a cute little element right here. It's going to end up going over there. I got to make it really tiny because it's going to bleed into my words, and then you won't be able to read it. So there, I think I can get away with that. What do y'all think? Bow or no bow? Bow or no bow? What should I do? Oh, there we go. I think I just found it. Okay, that's what we're going to do right up there. I'm going to put it at the top, Thank you, Kathy. I'm glad you like my card. This Please Just Punch paper is only available through the end of March, so you want to make sure that you get a pack or two. One of the things I love about this paper is that if you don't have to invest in the stamps if you don't want to. You can just have the punch, and you can get all of these cute designs out of it. Let me grab one more. I want to show you one more set of cards that I had done with this paper. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Let me give you the full effect there. Let me grab this other set of cards real quick. I think they are right here. They should be right here. Ah, yes. Here we go. I was going to show you, this is another set of, I did an add-on class at my retreat featuring this same paper, the Please Just Punch paper, and I used the Timeless Tulips. So this uses the green, I told you, I love the green stripe on this one. And then, that's kind of come loose. Some people were putting 3 and 4 and 5 tulips on their cards. This paper, the designer paper for these, what I did was I ran it through the Lovely Leaves embossing folder, and then we sponged it to give it a little bit of extra oomph. And then that little piece of white is also on the same embossing folder. So this particular one, we did all the Timeless Tulips bundle. So these are all tulip cards and all featuring the same Please Just Punch paper. And I kind of did a slight variation in every single set of cards. So this one we did one in portrait, one in landscape, and believe it or not, and we also did different greetings on here. Believe it or not, this is actually just Poppy Parade and Mango Melody. So when you stamp it once and then you stamp it again, you get that really pale pink. And then there's that favorite green stripe again. And then this is the Mango Melody, and then we just kept stamping with it. And you know, this is, I will tell you, this class was a lot of fun. It reminds me, I used to like to garden when it was a lot easier to get down in the soil than it is now at my age, and with my hip challenges. But this to me is a bit like gardening without having to get your fingers in the dirt and get all dirty and get all hot and sweaty. So this really did feel like planting a garden. And then this was my raindrops and rainbows cards. And so we did one. I love this greeting that's part of the tulips stamp set. What a beautiful difference one single life makes. And we did one single tulip. Now for this one, we did stamp and punch the tulip and the leaves, where this one we just stamped them, and then this one we just punched them. So I like to give you, kind of experience with all the different parts of the bundle when we do a class. And then this one is, I think, a lovely sympathy card. And personally, with sympathy cards, I just don't like rhinestones on sympathy cards. I think it's just a little bit too much bling. So I just pulled in some of the sequins. So that is what I have for you today. And what I would love for you to do, as I'm just kind of signing off, I will come back and say goodbye to you, is I would love for you to go to my blog, my sweetstamper.com blog, and go ahead and subscribe to it. Because my Tuesday at 2s, I always put the PDF tutorial on either that day or the next day. And I want you to make sure that you get those tutorials, because they're color tutorials. It gives you all of the directions and all of the supplies and all of the measurements. That's usually what we're looking for the cards that I do on my Tuesday at 2. And thank you, Jeanette, for tuning in. And so you want to make sure that you subscribe to that. You also want to subscribe to my news, my email news, and that subscribe button is right there on my blog. I'll also put it here. And that way you stay up with all the things that are going on in my world of stamping. So Retreat in a Box will probably roll out tomorrow, and I've got a couple other classes coming that will be available to come right to your inbox, not your inbox, into your mailbox. So thank you again for tuning in. Again, for most of us, it's Super Tuesday, or for many of us, I should say, it's Super Tuesday. If you haven't voted, make sure that you get out and vote. For 7 Sweet Stampers, I will see you tonight at Tower City Church for our monthly meeting of the Southern Sweet Stampers. And we are a really fun team, really a family of demonstrators. We would love for you to join us. So our team meeting tonight, we will be making this fancy fold card and a couple of others. And I will be showing the others maybe next week, maybe before that on my blog. So anyway, thanks again for tuning in. Take care and God bless.